So the saying is, be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. Warren Buffett is the person who made this quote, I believe. I mean, we hear this quote everywhere, but Warren Buffett's like the guy who gets attributed the credit for the quote. And he's taking his advice. He is absolutely taking his advice. Let's get into the article right here. Boom, baby. Berkshire Hathaway takes a 2.5% stake in Citi in Q1, exits Wells Fargo. Warren Buffett is doing a lot of buying of stocks. Warren Buffett, let's go through some of these highlights. The investment giant built around Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway, disclosed a stake in Citigroup with 55 million shares. The outstanding shares of Citibank results in 55 million being 2.5% of those shares. So he's about 2% of the company, which is amazing. They've disclosed more large stakes in Occidental, which is an energy company, mainly for gas, 136.4 million shares or 15% of petroleum, and HP, which is at 104 million shares or 9.9% of the company. So they own 15% of Oxy, they own about 10% of HP, and they own about 2% of Citi. And I think about like their portfolio is like 45% of Apple. So Berkshire Hathaway is owning a lot of these sort of bigger name stocks that are not the fancy growth tech giants, but are stocks that you know you're going to be around. Occidental is going to be around. HP, they're going to be making computers. They exited AbbVie, Bristol Myers Squibb, these are in the pharmaceutical space, and Wells Fargo, the banking space. Now, Berkshire also owns a major amount of Bank of America, so like that makes sense as well for why they exited Wells Fargo, and are probably just going to keep their Bank of America stake. They increased their holdings in Chevron to 159 million shares, which is a lot, from 38.2 million. Activision Blizzard, ATVI, to 64 million shares from 14 million shares. Now, the reason for this is because Microsoft is most likely buying Activision Blizzard. It's at $78 right now, as you can see. And they estimate that it's going to be bought out for $95. So that's a 20% upside purely just like for free, essentially. You know it's guaranteed. So Activision Blizzard will also be bought by Microsoft. That they've got 64 million shares of that, and Floor & Decor to 4.78 million shares. Now they reduced their Verizon holdings. They basically exited their Verizon position, 159 million to 1.3 million shares, and they exited Store Capital, Royalty Pharma. Now the question is, why is Warren Buffett right now starting to buy a lot of these stocks? And that's kind of what I wanted to analyze in this video. Now, one of the things that's interesting about Warren Buffett is that he holds on to cash and waits for the most prime opportunities to unleash the cash. We saw what happened in COVID. A lot of people basically were like, oh, Warren Buffett, you don't know what you're doing. You should be buying some of these big tech stocks. You know, you're like holding on to too much cash. Look at the market. It's going crazy. ARK Innovation was going wild. Warren Buffett held on. He said, screw you. I'm not buying these stocks just because you want me to buy these stocks. I'm buying these stocks when I get them at a fair and reasonable valuation. And now, after the world has collapsed, 2022, 2 years later, all-time highs have become new all-time lows. It is becoming very, very apparent that buys should be made and that more and more people should start entering into the stock market. So what does this mean for you as someone who's watching, or just for anyone who's kind of thinking about it as a retail investor? I think if Warren Buffett is deciding that now is the time to buy stocks, it signals to us as investors who are not as smart as Warren Buffett that this is a buying opportunity. The caveat is how much of a buying opportunity is this? And that's why, you know, we're going to go into Webull right now and kind of just look at some charts. We're going to go into the S&P 500. This is the thing that's, you know, really interesting to me. S&P has been averaging around 400s. Now, let's look at how it started this year. 478. That was where it was at the top, January 4th. 478. We're like, all right, 478. It grew 27% year over year. Amazing. And then we started getting to the bottoms. We got to 460, as you can see there. Then we got lower. Then we got right back up to 470. Then boom, that's the first big dip, 430. It's like, all right, we're in the 430s category. End of January. We go up. We make it back to 455. We're fine. Down to the point where we're at 409 in February. We're like, you know what? It'll be okay. We go right back up. 450. Look at this. The fact that we were at 460 on the S&P 100 just under a month ago, about a month and a half ago, and we ended the S&P at 470. We were literally back to the peak. I mean, we were $10 away, or about $18 away, nothing too crazy from getting back to the peak. And then we got the real collapse, right? So this is what it has looked like. 478 was the top, down and up, almost close, then down again. And then we hit 385. Morgan Stanley is estimating that we're going to hit 3,400 on the S&P, which would be $340, and then it would be time for a rebound. And the reason they're saying this is because there are simply no catalysts for us to be able to increase. Inflation is not getting better. Supply chains are not getting better. The PPI came out. Inflation is actually increasing from the PPI index, even though it may be reaching a peak on the consumer price index. We're going to need more charts over the next couple months to really see if this stuff is getting better or if this stuff is getting worse. As of now, it's not getting any better. And because it's not getting better, and we recognize that there's no unique catalyst for on a green day for the S&P to go from 385 to 403, like there is no catalyst for why this is happening, that this honestly just may be a dead cat bounce. Now, Warren Buffett probably sees the entire macro as being so demolished that it's a good time to buy stocks, and if it goes lower, he's probably just going to load up more, which makes sense. For someone who has a limited amount of capital, so for example, for me, who's thinking about putting 10,000 into the market, I would rather put 10,000 when the S&P is at 3,400 versus when it's at 3,800. That's just kind of how I think about it. And if I do think there's more pain to come to the market, then that might happen. Stocks like Tesla, Tesla was at 1,100. Now it's at 7,300 after growing 81% year over year in their earnings, which is phenomenal. Palantir, 31% year over year, it's demolished, $8. Companies like Opendoor grew 500% year over year. Market doesn't trust it at $7. It was at $5 one day. Apple at 147. Apple was at 166. People are saying Apple's going to probably head to 120 if the S&P goes down to 3,400. So in the context of, is this the right time to buy or not? Obviously, this is a opportunity in which you can get stocks that are decently undervalued or at least at more reasonable valuations for a better price. The question is, are things going to get lower? And if things are going to get lower, maybe there is a time to wait. Warren Buffett obviously sees some of his largest positions as like the right time to buy, which is why he's disclosed these major, massive stakes. But I guess we're ultimately going to see what's going to happen. Now, the funny thing is Michael Burry is shorting Apple, and I did a video on that a little bit earlier today, and Warren Buffett has 47% of his portfolio in Apple. So, Warren Buffett obviously expects Apple to grow and become an absolute behemoth. Michael Burry is taking an 18% hedge on his portfolio because he does not see Apple's growth happening as much in the future. So we're going to see what ultimately happens, but Warren Buffett is buying the dip. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Are you buying any of the stocks that he's buying? And do you agree with his philosophy that right now it's time to be greedy when others are fearful? Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys check the next video and I can speak.